Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone is having a great weekend so far, or whenever you happen to watch this video. Today we are going to be talking about a case that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. That said, this is one of the cases that I've gotten the most requests for to cover. Today we are going to be discussing the disappearance and tragedy of Geraldine Largay, who also went by Jerry. She was 66 years old at the time. She was an avid hiker and outdoors person. She was a former nurse for the US Air Force. She had always dreamed about hiking the Appalachian Trail. For those of you that don't know, the Appalachian Trail is on the east coast of the United States. It is 2,200 miles long, or 3,500 kilometers, starting in Georgia and ending up in Maine. After hiking for years, in 2013, she decided that she was going to do it. She was going to start at Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Her final destination was going to be Mount Katahdin in Maine's Baxter State Park. After months of planning and researching, she was ready to go. She had her husband drive her from her hometown in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is just north of Nashville, up to Harper's Ferry, where she began her journey. She started this thru hike roughly the second week of April of 2013. Things were going great. She had met a friend named Jane that she was hiking with for a good portion of the beginning of the trip. She had prearranged meetings with her husband George that they were going to meet to resupply and just to make sure everything was okay. Things were going great for Jerry. On trail during these hikes, you usually get a nickname. Hers was Inchworm. Unfortunately, at some point during their hike, Jane had some sort of emergency and had to leave trail, which left Jerry hiking by herself. She still was in constant contact with her husband George. Things were going well. Jane, though, was a little concerned because she said that Jerry was not the best when it came to using a compass or using maps. At the time, she did, however, have a GPS device. Sadly, though, at one point after Jane and her split, she lost her GPS device. Whether it was at a lean-to or campsite, nobody really knows. Her hike was going great. Then on July 21st, Jerry departed from the Appalachian Trail Route 4, crossing into the Sandy River Plantation. This is a picture of her in and around that area. Later that day, she texted her husband and told him that she was on top of Saddleback Mountain and that her plans were she intended to spend the night at the Poplar Ridge Lean-To, which is in Reddington Township. During the early hours on Monday, July 22nd of 2013, she sent her husband a text message saying that she was heading north on trail and that she was heading for the Spalding Mountain Lean-To. And when I say lean-to, they're basically like shelters along the Appalachian Trail. Sometime on July 23rd of 2013, she became lost after leaving the trail because she had to go to the bathroom. She became disoriented. This is one of the last pictures that we have of her when she was staying in the Poplar Lean-To. She was supposed to meet her husband George at the Route 27 crossing, which is about a 22-mile hike away from this lean-to. However, Jerry never showed up. After becoming lost, Jerry tried several times, starting at 11 a.m., texting her husband, quote, "I'm in some trouble, got off trail to go to the bathroom, now lost. Can you call the park patrol or a trail maintainer to come help me? I'm somewhere north of Woods Road." These are just some pictures and maps of the direction she was heading to, and this is the Spalding Mountain Lean-To that she never made it to. Jerry, at the time, tried to reach higher ground in an attempt to send these messages. She tried 10 more times in the next hour and a half. After all these attempts failed, she decided to set up camp. The next day, July 24th, she tried again with several undelivered messages. She said that She was lost since yesterday at 4:18 p.m. She's off trail by 3 or 4 miles. Please call the police. Whatever you can do, XO. She seemed to know the general location of where she was. She just could not find her bearings and could not find her way out. It was at this point on July 24th that George knew that Jerry was in fact lost, and he contacted the authorities, and this is when the official search got started by the Warden Service, including search aircraft, state police, national park rangers, and local fire departments. Sadly, like we've seen in many other cases, bad weather moved into the area with heavy rain and fog, which obscured their efforts and made it much harder for them to search the side trails. They were able to find and interview hikers. They brought in various canine teams to try and track her down. Of course, the rain made this more difficult. Throughout all the beginning of the searches, there was no sign of Jerry anywhere, despite hundreds of people getting involved in this search. At this point, the media got involved, and everyone was a little confused as to why or how this hiker could have just vanished. Their fear was that she may have wandered into the 100-mile wilderness area, which is very dense, very thick. This is a map of the original search areas. I know it's kind of hard to see, but they did an extensive search. They put up posters all over the place on trees to alert hunters, hikers, anybody that might be out and about, with instructions on what to do if they came across anything that they thought might be related to Jerry's case. The media also was all over this case. They also brought in special canines to search the various waterways that are in the area that she was last known to be seen. Still, after nothing was found, they put up more missing posters. They got more people involved. I'm going to have another picture up of the search grid map and how extensive it got over the weeks and weeks that they were out looking for Jerry or any sign of her. This is a picture of that. It just shows the GPS coordinates of the searchers, the search dogs, everything that they did trying to find her. They searched over 800 miles of terrain. Sadly, with all their efforts, she was never found, and it was like she had just disappeared off the face of the earth. That was until October of 2015, over 2 years after she was reported missing, when a Navy force worker was out assisting a crew that was filming the Animal Planet reality series North Woods Law. When the authorities arrived, they saw her flattened tent with a green backpack outside of it, and sadly, they found her remains in her sleeping bag. Campsite was very difficult to see unless you were right next to it. According to the search people, it was in very dense woodland. The tent was under several large trees, which obstructed it from the sky. Jerry had built a bedding area out of small trees and pine needles to keep her tent away from and out of the water. They found her rain jacket, a space blanket, a bunch of Ziploc bags, a working flashlight, a baseball cap, and they also found a diary that was covered in moss and had been affected by the elements, but it was still legible. And this is the part that just brought me to tears, what it said. It became evident that she was living there in that campsite for almost a month. Her final dated entry was August 6, 2013, said, "When you find my body, please call my husband George, my daughter Carrie. It will be the greatest kindness for them to know that I am dead and where you found me. No matter how many years from now, please find it in your heart to mail this to one of them." It also talked about crossing this river near the poplar lean-to. She became lost after trying to use the restroom and got into this dense, thick, rugged area that she just wasn't able to get out of, despite her attempts of trying to reach higher ground so that her cell phone texts would go through. She just couldn't get it to work. And the sad thing is that this wasn't that far from civilization. If she had walked maybe 70 yards south and then maybe another 25 minutes, she would have hit a logging yard and a logging trail, thus leading her back to the Appalachian Trail. It's just so tragic every way you look at it. The family and friends have since erected a monument, a cross with various mementos from where they found the campsite. She was just an absolutely wonderful woman. Thank you for her service in the US Airforce. She touched so many lives, She was just a happy, loving, wonderful person who wanted to go out on this grand adventure, and due to several factors, losing the SATCOM device, her partner having to leave, then her getting lost while trying to use the restroom, it's just a tragedy. I want to dedicate this video to Jerry, her husband George, all of her family and friends, all the people whose lives she touched throughout her years working as a nurse at the Air Force, all the search and rescue crew, and everybody who spent hours and days and months looking for her. I just hope and pray that her family and friends and everyone has found closure and peace, knowing that this woman was such a wonderful person in society. My thoughts and prayers go out to all of you. Thank you all for watching. As always, I appreciate all your comments and feedback. Please stick around to the end if you want to have more information about the Christmas cards and some other things. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. This is obviously just such a tragic case, and I still don't understand why those canine dogs that were literally within 100 feet of where her campsite was couldn't pick up her scent. Maybe it was because of the rain. Who knows? This woman was just amazing, even in her final hours, was thinking of others. Some things we can learn from this case and things that I've talked about in the past. If you're out on a solo hike and you need to use the restroom, take your pack with you. If not, take your fanny pack with you. Don't wander too far off trail. Another thing is always carry your SATCOM device hooked with a carabiner. Make sure that it's always on you at all times. That way you don't run the risk of losing it. It is your lifeline in emergency situations like this. As far as the Christmas cards go, I sent most of them out, but I'm still working on more. If you have spoken to me, given me case suggestions, donations, and I don't have your address, please just send it to me and I will send out you one of the Christmas cards. I'm happy to do it. If you haven't subscribed, I'd ask you to please consider subscribing. It's free. I'm always willing to work on any case you send to me. I'm still accepting calendar pick submissions for next year's merch calendar. I also just wanted to say that with all these cases, I leave a detailed bibliography in the description with all my sources, video credits, further information, and you can always contact me if you would like more information. My email and all my information is in the description for case suggestions, or if you want to leave a donation. Donations go such a far way. It makes the world to me, and I really appreciate all your support, all your feedback, and I look forward to all your comments. I hope everyone is doing well and looking forward to a fun, safe, and happy holiday season.